All right. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hopefully you guys can hear me. Today I'm speaking with Jonas, who's been a Muslim revert from Europe for a while. So we're gonna discuss his journey to Islam and different challenges that European Muslims typically face, I guess. So Assalamu alaikum, Jonas. Welcome.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Hello, Jan. Very nice to meet you today. It's my pleasure. And inshallah, looking forward to have a good discussion about our faith today, this evening. You can see, yeah, I'm based in Germany. It's already dark, and nowadays, like our prayer times is very, very short. Sometimes between Zuhur and Asr, only 2 hours. And I think in Slovenia, yeah, it's also the same, right?
Slovakia, not Slovenia.
Slovakia. Yeah.
Yeah, I know it's for Germans, it's a very small country, but
Yeah.
yeah, there's Slovenia and Slovakia, but it's Slovakia. Yeah, we are in the same time zone, so it's the same.
Yeah, yeah.
Not that far
Masha.
away. Where are you in Germany currently? Like which city or region?
Currently I'm based in Middle Germany, around Saxony-Anhalt, so that's the state. And the nearest city, bigger city, is called Magdeburg. But for me also, it's very not. I don't know this place very much. I'm actually from the south, nearby Stuttgart. Yeah.
Okay,
Mm.
nice. Yeah, I've been
Yes.
to Germany many times, but I only been to Berlin, Munich, and like those regions. I haven't been where you are, so maybe next time, inshallah. But
Yeah,
I've
sure.
been
You're welcome. Mm.
Regensburg. I remember I was in Regensburg and Nuremberg, and then
Yeah,
in
yeah.
Regensburg they had a very nice mosque, mashallah, very nice. And in Munich, I was in Juma as well as in Berlin. Yeah, I was in Kreuzberg, which was a very
Yeah, oh, mashallah. Yeah, yeah. Kreuzberg is like a different country. Yeah.
yes. They told me it's a ghetto.
Yeah.
I was there.
But regarding these mosques in Germany or
Mhm.
Europe, like subhanallah, it's very, very beautiful to see that it's in progress. Like masjids are being built so fast, quickly. And like I remember just last week, I went to my hometown nearby Stuttgart, and I asked one brother, by the way, how many masjids do we have now in our city here? And they were counting one, two, three, and yeah, there is a new masjid, and there is a new masjid now. And then, wow, I didn't know. And then we came on up to 7, almost 10 masjids, and it's not a very big city actually. So yeah,
It's very
but it's
different
also
than Slovakia. Very different, I can tell you.
okay.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
have.
uh-huh.
But in Cologne, yeah, there was a huge masjid, and they even did the Adhan. I know it was like a giant eye when I was
Yeah,
there.
yeah,
So
yeah.
Cologne was really good.
That's famous masjid. Yeah.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but here I had to build a not build. We had to start a masjid. Like there's nothing. So there's
Mhm.
really like basically only four in the whole country, spread out, and yeah,
Mhm.
it's like you can't believe. Yeah, like in your city, it's probably more masjids than in the whole Czech Republic and Slovakia. So
Okay.
it's a very different situation. But anyways, it's still like Islamophobic in a different way because we don't have immigrants like you. So
Mhm.
people don't have this problem with immigrants because there are none. But
Mhm.
people hate Islam from history because
Mhm.
there's like a connection to Ottomans. Um, and in your case, I guess in Germany it's the other way around, where it's more like open, but people are now there's a huge Islamophobia in Germany. I know, like from people and in the whole Europe, like Netherlands, Sweden, UK,
Mhm.
even the political parties who are getting elected, they like openly say things which are not true, and
Yeah.
yeah, it's just
Mhm.
something in the
Mhm.
Western Europe is happening. I don't know what it is.
Especially nowadays with the conflict, Palestine
Yeah.
and Israel. I heard Mohammed Hijab talking about he was in Germany recently,
Hmm.
and he gave a speech, and he said, and I also believe that and it's actually quite logic that Germany is the most pro-Israel country in almost the whole world, or especially Europe. Yeah, due to history, of course, and so that's why also maybe the Islamophobia is a little bit more. Yeah, but inshallah, I can tell you as a Muslim revert, I mostly have not much conflicts with other non-Muslims here. Like I can say Germany is still a pretty good country to live as a Muslim, because you have all the rights, and yeah.
If you're German, that's different. I think for immigrants, they would have a different experience. But yes, you're like your parents are German, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So how long have you been Muslim?
I accepted Islam in the age of 19, and now I'm 25, so
Okay, 6 years.
coming 6 years already, and it's getting into 7 years. Yeah.
Yeah, so that's been a while, I guess. I'm only 3 years in, so I'm a baby in comparison, I guess.
Yeah.
But 19. So did you come across Islam like in Germany or somewhere else, or?
Yes. I came to Islam across in Germany. Yeah. So I was always open for new religions, for new, not only religions, like only cultures and countries. Like I remember when I was 12, 11 in the secondary school, I used to have Turkish friends and Russian friends, and from Poland, from all over the world actually. Because in Islam, in Germany, we have a quite big facet to the nationalities.
Yeah, it's liberal.
So then I remember one day, it was summer, I was 16, and I saw in our village, just suddenly some African people were there, and like suddenly I saw a lot of them, like maybe 10 or so African men, and then I asked myself, "Whoa, what are they doing here?" And like I was interested in them, and then I remember just one day I was waiting for the bus, and one of them was also waiting for the bus, and we just got into a conversation, and then I ended up visiting them in one evening, and I got to know them step by step, and yeah, so I had a friendship with some of them like for 2, 3 years, and then it started where I knew, okay, I realized they are Muslim. Hey, they are Muslim, okay. Like in the month of Ramadan, I was there. I actually did fasting with them, and I was not even Muslim yet. And so yeah, I got more interested in the beautiful religion of Islam, and like I mean, once you put your pre-assumption aside, from yeah, that's what people sometimes say, Islam is this, Islam is that. Once you see good Muslims, you get very interesting in this religion, because it cannot be true actually that Islam is such a worse religion, but the Muslims are good people, like. And so yeah, I did my own research, and yeah, alhamdulillah, then I went with one of my friends on one Friday afternoon for the Jummah prayer to a mosque. And first of all, I just wanted to know more about Islam. Actually, I just wanted to get some more information, basically. But then I suddenly accepted Islam. Like after the Jummah prayer, my friend was talking with the Imam from Egypt, and then the Imam called me in front, and then yeah, he asked me if I want to accept Islam, and I said yes. Like I was feeling something, yeah, that I want to do this now, and alhamdulillah, until now I never regret my decision. I can tell you, after getting Muslim, I'm sure Jan, you can, I think, tell me the same. Like after you are Muslim, you feel different. You have a more beautiful life. You get this kind of sakina, the peace into the heart. Like, and since from that day, alhamdulillah, and yeah,
Yeah.
there are many small little stories that I experienced during that time. And yeah.
Yeah, you get both, like you get this you get this sense of finally I found like something that's true, and so that you have this peace because you know this world, this dunya is temporary, you know there's akhirah, you know, like you have like a perspective on life and other people don't have it. So like even my mom doesn't understand what I'm doing and I tell her, but she doesn't know. Like I try to explain, but it's just it's the perspective on life is different. So but you also, it also comes with many challenges then, like because now you have this perspective but most people don't have it. So eventually you'll have a conflict with someone, like either your family or something is going to happen that you didn't have before, because now you have like a way of life. Before you didn't. Before you were doing anything like everyone else, like my classmates or my family. I didn't think about what I'm doing. I was just doing everything that people were doing, like because that's how people are doing, right? Like we are social, we just do whatever we see other people do, and then we think this is like our culture. But we never try to think, at least when you're young you don't really think about this, and then you
You
try
don't
to
question.
question.
Yeah.
Yeah, later you question like what is Christmas or like
Yeah.
what are we doing here on this festival. But
Yeah.
that's
Yeah.
like you know yeah, it's interesting because once you start doing that, some people will be mad, like they'll say shut up. So you know, this is the issue, but that's good. So but what made you really interested in Islam? Like what was that initial thing? Was it the people you saw in your village? Like, but because from my perspective now, like we have a masjid here in my city and we have people come in and pray with us. They are non-Muslim, they love Islam, like
Oh.
but they are afraid, like you know, like I used to do the same before I converted. I would pray 2 months in the masjid already, so I would test
Mhm.
Islam, like I would be living like Muslim before doing Shahada just to see if I can like can live like this, because it's like a
Mhm.
big change.
Mhm.
And we have a lot of people like from Russia or people who work
Mhm.
here, and they get they start and they come on every prayer and stuff, and they're non-Muslim, like they're praying with us, and I
Okay.
see them testing it. Like I understand what they're thinking exactly because I used to do the same.
Mhm.
Uh, but I don't know why they came. Like I have no idea why, what made them interested. Like they are 18, 19. Like
Mhm.
when I'm 28 when I accepted Islam. I was very older. So I was like, I already had like a lot of jahiliyyah behind me. You know, I was kind of older getting into Islam, but 18, 19 is very young. So what made you as young like that accept Islam? Like
Yeah.
thinking
Mhm.
that most your peers, most of the people around you are partying, going to, you know,
Mhm. Mhm.
universities and things, and you are, you know, going
I
with
was
it.
doing the same. Yeah, I was doing the same, of course, like the normal life, the normal Jahiliya life, I can say. You follow the majority, yeah. So, of course, partying and relationship with the opposite sex, that kind of normal. And but yeah, until I was 17, 18, of course, I was engaged also in some bad things. I don't want to mention too much in details, but like regarding smoking, drinking, and all of this. Alhamdulillah, Allah guided me to the right path and helped me to stop all of that. And but this is also a little bit connected to my journey to Islam, because yeah, when you're, you know, when you are young and you are doing all of this, you are actually doing this because you want to find some right way. Yeah, like you want to, maybe it's some kind of excuse or some, you keep yourself busy with something else that is just giving you short-term pleasure, but for the long term, for the real purpose of life, you cannot find that. So sometimes you think, okay, what is the real truth? Why do we exist? I know sometimes when you are under some kind of substances, yeah,
Mhm.
you are trying to think about these things. Like sometimes you get philosophy and all of this, and so first of all, yeah, I was into this direction, like finding the truth, I can say. And then things got hand in hand. Like I had religion lessons in our school during that time, and where we discussed religions of Hinduism, Buddhism, Christianity, Judaism, and Islam as well. And already on that time, actually, I realized that Islam is such a detailed religion. I mean, people don't know sometimes about our existence. They don't know how paradise look like. They don't know how hellfire look like. They don't know how the day of judgment look like. Like the special, and even Christianity. There are some details about that, but not as precise as Allah say always in the Quran, and in so many sentences, so many verses. And yeah, that's, I think, what I can say regarding this. And maybe one little to sum up, one little questions what my friends from Africa, like let me say, they were from Gambia, right? And that's West Africa, and 99% Muslim there. And they asked me, one brother asked me, hey, what is your religion, or what do you believe? And do you want to go to paradise? Yeah, sure, I want to go to paradise. Then Islam is the solution. This is the key. Yeah. And Islam, this is the key. Yeah. And that's what we should never lose in our life. We always have to keep it as like your car key. If you will not throw it away somewhere, and that's much more bigger thing. And we never know when we are going to die, right? We never know. So better to make the right decision now. And if you accept Islam and you live as a Muslim, and even Islam would not be true, let's say, may Allah protect us from such thoughts, but like regarding maybe that, something we can tell our non-Muslim friends or family, even if Islam would not be true, and you would live your life as a real Muslim, as a true Muslim, you don't steal, you don't lie, you don't cheat, you don't drink, you don't take drugs, then what have you lost? What have you lost? Even if there is no hellfire or paradise, you have not lost nothing. But if Islam is true, and there is a day of judgment and paradise and hellfire, and you did not believe in that, then well, you are the greatest loser on earth on that time, and you have wasted your life, actually.
Yeah. Well, some of these things, yeah, I agree, but you have to realize most people will just say, the Christians can claim the same thing, right? Like, why don't you accept Jesus? And then when you die, like, even if it's not true, it's fine. Like, that can be said for most religions. And I agree with you, but most people who are atheists, like I was atheist, would say, I just want to live my life. I want to drink. Like, why would I be like they're and I like the way the African guy gave you dawa to ask you if you want to go to paradise. I wish it was that easy. With Europeans, it's always very complicated. Like you have to overcomplicate arguments because most of them just doesn't accept simple truth. Like it's like dawa becomes more complex every year, right? Like in the beginning, when Islam started, you can just say, hey, there's only one God, Allah, and Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is his final messenger. And most people would be like, okay. Or some people would be like, tell me more. And then you would give a Quran verse or something. And then, okay. But then the more time goes on, the less you are connected to Arabic, the more you go to regions which are not connected at all, the more evidence, the more like things you have to bring in, and it gets more complicated. And now in the time where we are, like you can make a simple argument like Surah Ikhlas, like Kul hu Allahu ahad, Allahu samad. But like, even if I say this, most people will be like, so what? So I have to say, there's existence, there's contingents in the existence, there's a necessary existence. Everything in the universe depends on, like, you have to make it so philosophical. And it's in one sentence in the Quran already. But most people don't want to accept simple ideas, like simple, let's say, ideas, because they want to overcomplicate things. So you have to make the same argument, which is in the Quran, just make it more complicated, because people are just, I don't know what happened to them. Even for me, I would have to hear like very detailed arguments, for the existence of Allah. And it's like so obvious, But,
Sahi. Yeah.
but people in the past didn't think like this. Like a farmer in Germany or in Slovakia, you can just say there's one God, and he would say yes. Like there's like everyone believes this already. But now we say, well, maybe there's nothing, and you have to argue with people who believe in nothing. And you can, like, how come something from nothing? Like, and they say like, we don't know. And you have to make like this irrational mental exercise, with people. And it's like, you exist, you are not nothing, and you still have to convince them that they exist, like even basic, like they don't accept basic logic. So it's like people are very confused. People are confused,
Definitely. And it's becoming worse. It's becoming more and more. Like my grandmother believed in God, I can say. But my father now, like who is, yeah, of course, a bit younger than my grandmother. Yeah, he recently, like he also like a little bit like atheism, I can say. I remember last time we were talking about, I think we were talking about the heart. Yeah. Like how the heart, the function is there. Yeah. And subhanallah, like if you study biology, wow, you will see human body is such perfect. It cannot be more perfect than our human body. Like if you see all the cells and subhanallah. And then I told my father, do you think this can be randomly? Do you think this is like evolutionally? This cannot be evolution. Like if you have a Mikado, or if you put a bag of rice and you just randomly throw it, how would it look like? Yeah, it's like a mess. It would like a mess. Yeah, it cannot be perfect. Yeah, but then my father said, okay, I agree with you, but the human body is actually that much perfect, it cannot be only one who made that.
Okay.
Yeah, like I mean, you know what I mean? More than one God, I don't know. And that's where, yeah, like my point of view and the point of view of my father go separate. Yeah. But we always pray that Allah may guide all of our friends, relatives, and non-Muslims, and may He guide the whole world. Like this is what we have to do, like making dua for them and try our best in our dawa.
Yeah. I remember in biology in high school, I was so mad because I remember we were doing some experiment, and like some cells, we were looking at cells in human body, and I was like, this is in me. Like I was like so confused, like we are so complex. I was I was nothing, but I was like so mad, like we're studying human body, then on chemistry we're looking at like what happens if you mix this chemical with this, then you're studying like language, like, so we're just actually just studying the world, like what is the world, we don't even know. And no one is asking what's the purpose of the life. Like there's no one in the school who said like what is the purpose. There was like a Christianity lesson, okay, but not in high school, in the elementary school, like a nun would come in,
Yeah.
like
And
ethics.
when it comes also to biology and the reason behind that, or like let's say the background of the human body, and like how all of this developed over the time, they are going to explain Darwinism theory. Yeah. But if you look at the term, actually, first of all, it's scientifically not even proven that much. I mean, it's not much. Yeah, like there are so many mistakes in that theory, and there are so many non-Muslim scientific people who doubt this a lot. But if you look at the term theory of something, Darwinism theory, this is how they call it. A theory is just a theory. And a theory doesn't mean that this is reality. Like you can have a lot of theories in other sciences, yeah. And it's theory and reality is something different, yeah.
But this, you can just ask what did Darwin think? Do you know what Darwin thought?
Yeah, what? You know?
He believed in God. He created this.
Oh,
So then, so then just look at that. Like that's it. You don't have to go even further. Like Darwin, there's letters before he died. You can read them.
okay.
He says, like, I believe in one uncreated God. I don't believe in Christianity, but so he was like apostate from Christianity, but he said, I believe in one uncreated God in the letters. And he created, it wasn't even him, it was he and his colleague who created this theory, and it got named after Darwin, but it wasn't supposed to be attacking religion. It was then taken by British government and kind of like spinned off in schools. But just look at that. Like, you don't even know this, like, we don't even have to debate it. Like, the founder believed in God, so why are you saying this argument? Like, that's it. That's the end of discussion there, you know. And again, like, it doesn't even explain, like, okay, even if you have like the first cell or the first like genome or whatever, it's already with DNA. Like, there's already intelligent design. Like, DNA has samples. Like, if you look at it in microscope, there's like, you can see like this, like it goes like this, and it's like, it tells you how much, let's say, if a person, what your hair color, your eyes, you know, everything is there. It's like information in this thing. How can there be information? Information is what? It's coming from some knowledge. Like, information is just set of information cannot be like A, B, C, D, E, F. Like, that doesn't make any sense. Information is like has a meaning behind it. Like, information could, like, you can look at, for example, a book, and you can read a text and be like, this is a letter A, this is a letter B, or you can be like, no, these letters mean words. Words have meaning. Like, this is apple, apple is this, and you like, but someone who doesn't have human brain, let's say some alien, would look at like, this is A, this is P, this is P. Like, they don't get what do you mean by this? So we're not actually like looking at the letter like, but we're looking at the meaning behind the letter, right? The same with information. You look at the information, and it's like, it's coded, like, it's actually coded. It's like some developer coded it, and so it cannot come from non-intelligence, because all information has to make, if it makes sense, if it's intelligent, meaning there's a meaning behind the information. It's not like random, like just random, you know, information that doesn't make sense. It wouldn't be even information, it would be just whatever. So that means like something happened before which made the information there, like some intelligent, whatever you can call it, but some intelligent thing had to do this information. Information doesn't become information without prior intelligence. It can, like, if you throw like something in the air, it doesn't become like a specific word, you know. Like, there's chaos everywhere. Is chaos. Like, if a bomb explodes, it doesn't like go and create like a poetry, you know. Like, it just, so information has to come from order before, and that comes from like some design, some let's say, how do you call it, will, something like that. So even if this theory is correct, like, even the first cells had to have been coded somehow. And they say, no, this is aliens. That's what they say. The aliens came on Earth. Okay, who created aliens? It's just, you're moving the problem to the same, you know, it's the same problem. Like, you didn't answer. So they just want to avoid it, you know. Anyways.
On the end of the day, Allah always says that there are believers and disbelievers, and there are people who, even when you come with the truth to them, they won't believe. Prophet Nuh, he preached 950 years, and nobody accepted. Very, very, very few people accepted Islam with him, and Allah guides whomever he wants, whoever he wishes. So
yeah. So how do you then once you've accepted Islam, so what do you've lived in Indonesia for a while, right? So how do you compare living in a Muslim country, or they are not Muslim actually, it's majority Muslim, but the government is secular, but still, let's say majority Muslim country versus Germany? What's the difference in like deen? Or I mean, there's big difference, but what is better in Indonesia, let's say, if you're Muslim?
First of all, 5 daily prayers is always in the masjid in Indonesia, because there are masjids everywhere around the corner. And yes, the majority is Muslim in Indonesia. Well, yeah, like the connection to the masjid, I can say it's much more the connection to the deen. Like, I mean, if you go out to the street, you will rarely find women without covering properly, without modest dress, like without a hijab. And yeah, the community, I can sit with the brothers, and
Yeah.
and this is already a huge difference than compared to here. Like here, and most of the masjids actually in Germany, they are in normal buildings. Yeah, so from outside you
Mine
won't
as well. Yeah, office.
you won't identify that as a masjid, but there in Indonesia, oh, it's so beautiful. Like you have big buildings, big masjids, and the adhan outside 5 times a day, and you have this 24/7 hour connection to Islam. But my own experience in Ramadan, to compare to Germany, was that I expected it to be very unique, and yeah, like amazing. I expected a lot, like from Ramadan in Indonesia. But when I compare it to Germany, I can see that actually in Germany, your iman raises more compared to Indonesia. That's what I personally felt, because and in general,
Ramadan or
iman. No, what do you mean? What do
in
you mean?
Ramadan or
In
generally?
Ramadan, even outside Ramadan mostly, but especially in Ramadan, I felt that because if you're living in the non-Muslim society, where you sometimes, when you are traveling, you have to take your prayer mat and you have to pray on the streets, and you have to take some wudu somewhere, or make tayammum with soil, and you have to pray on the streets somewhere, and everybody will walk astray, like from you, look at you and think, what kind of strange guy is this? But on the end of the day, this is what really gives you the relationship with Allah, because you know you're doing the right thing. And when everybody is doing the wrong thing and you are going to the right, like this is immense boost for your iman. And being a Muslim in a Muslim society is not that much difficult than being a Muslim in a non-Muslim
Yeah.
society.
No, I agree.
I think you agree, right?
Yeah, I think it's different because when I was just traveling in Muslim countries, I was a month in Turkey, in Bosnia, and in Dubai, and I wasn't like long term, but yeah, it's easy to practice Islam because like everything's halal, everywhere is masjid. There's not much haram, okay, but then it becomes like easy Islam, like you don't value it that much. Like if I'm here, like it's even worse than Germany, right? We don't even like it's more difficult, I would say, and more easy in some ways. But let's say, yeah, like I was praying like a few days ago in a restaurant quickly because I was like missing a prayer almost. So I just prayed on like on the second floor, and a waiter, my wife was like with my son down there, and the waiter, she asked like, "What's he doing?" Because I was just like, praying, and she thought I'm some crazy. Like, does he have like some problem? Like, is there like a stroke?
Yes, Yeah.
And I was and I couldn't say anything, and my wife was like, no, it's just what he does sometimes. So she never saw this, you know, she's like very confused. And then I finished and I came back like a normal person, and she was like, she couldn't like understand what happened, like why did you do 4 minutes, you know. So sometimes you have these moments, like funny, weird things that happen, but this is
But mashallah, like this is the good thing that you do, that we should not care about others when we are doing our salah. Like, I mean, we are doing salah only for our own self, right? And don't mind when other people, like, this is a message like to every Muslim in non-Muslim society. Don't mind about what other people might think about you when they see you praying or something. People are shy sometimes. People don't want to see, but no, like these are the key moments where your iman is tested also.
yeah. The problem is, you know, after a while, you know, it's been 3 years for you, 6, so you've seen even born Muslims in Germany, maybe, and somewhere, and even people who say they're Muslim, but that's like they drink alcohol, they sell drugs, you know, whatever. It's like, how is this possible? You know, I sometimes wonder, like, how is it possible that this exists? Like they eat halal, they are obsessed with halal, but they don't pray. Like what? Like very confusing, you know, like you don't even know the basics. Like, okay, eat haram but pray. That's more important to pray than eating halal. Like clearly, you know, priorities. Prayer is the difference between kufr and belief. Like halal, okay,
Yeah.
that's a sin, but that's not a kufr. So it's like,
Yeah.
subhanallah, these guys don't even. And I'm like sometimes so mad at these born Muslims who come here and then they just forget their religion completely and secularize to become European. I'm like, Europeans, first of all, they don't accept you. They will never accept you. Like you are a stranger to them, even if you dress like Turkish, whatever. And then second of all, you just lost the best thing ever. Like, and it's very little who come here and they can stick to their deen. And those who can, they are strong. But then there are reverts who are usually even stronger than born Muslims because they know the truth. So it's like they have to remind the born Muslims. So it's like a strange dynamic I noticed in Europe. Like you have these Muslims who either completely leave Islam and become like partying, or you have some who stick to the deen and become like good, but and then you have the reverts in between. So it's like a strange group, you know. But media just says Muslims, but maybe those guys don't even pray. You know, you never know.
Yeah,
Muslims.
definitely. I remember I read a statistics once about like a governmental statistic even about regarding Muslims in Germany. And 45% of Muslims in Germany are from Turkey. And then they had a kind of survey where they ask how many Muslims are actually real practicing, how many are praying. And I think it was 1/3 of all the Muslims who were praying regularly. And even from that, there were some units regarding the amount of prayer per day.
Yeah.
So yeah, subhanallah,
It's
this
strange because when you become a Muslim, they try to teach you something, and you're like, okay, I need to. Everyone says first thing you need to learn to pray. This is the most important. So you're learning few months. Okay, now I know Al-Fatiha. Now I know how to pray. And then you look, and even the other Muslims don't know. Even though the other Muslims are not praying, and you already like jumped ahead. Like, what? This is so strange. I just became a Muslim, you know. And then you learn about other things. You know, like riba. You learn about whatever different haram, halal. You know, sunnah. What is this? And you start implementing, and it's like, yes, few people are doing it, but most Muslims are just cultural Muslims. This is such a problem, you know.
Definitely.
I don't get it.
Definitely. I can agree totally. The key aspect revert Muslim is the foundation actually. Like they know why they choose this faith. Like I think also it's the matter about choosing the religion. And when you actually choose and commit yourself to something, then the commitment is much more stronger rather than you are just born in Muslim society. And then also it depends on how they raise up, like how the parents were practicing.
Yeah, I agree with that. So how do you usually go about gaining knowledge in the deen? Because we have a few more minutes left, so maybe you can let me know what did you do? I mean, everyone has a different method and everyone follows different madhab, let's say. But what did you do?
Well, as you said, first of all, learn the most important basic things like praying, and this is what my friends taught me. Like I remember one of my friend, he wrote Fatiha on a paper, and so I put this paper besides me, and whenever I prayed, I used to look in it, and until a time where I memorized it. And first of all, this most important thing, after you have this connection to the prayer and you are doing this consistently, then of course other things will come, such as the knowledge about regarding opposite gender, because I had a girlfriend also at that time, and I could not quit. Obviously, I could not quit all of the bad things that I was doing at that time. So it has to go step by step, and with that, it's also going hand in hand with knowledge, because knowledge actually helps you in the deen a lot. Like if you know the rewards that you are getting when you pray, if you know the rewards that you are getting when you go to the masjid, if you know the rewards if you say subhanallah, only this few dhikr, and if you're doing this with whole heart, and so these are the things that I learned during that process. And the sources where I got this, let's say, knowledge, it differs quite a lot. So first of all, I was listening to German imams. I'm very grateful that we have in our local mosque, we have a German imam. He's born Muslim, but pure German. And he actually studied in Medina for 7 years. He did a bachelor's in Islam. So we have good knowledge there. We have someone that we can always ask, and we will get good answers based on Quran and Sunnah, and for like real knowledge. And then also like when you get the feeling about, like, after maybe, let's say, 3 to 4 years, I can say I also listened a lot more to English speakers like Mufti Meng, Zakir Naik, and Yasir Qadi, and I like all of these platforms, and so I'm more into getting knowledge from them now. And yeah, alhamdulillah, I also met Mufti Meng, by the way. I met him twice in real life, like once in UK and once in Bali. And yeah, this maybe one thing that I want to mention here is that first of all, revert Muslims who are coming new to Islam should not get overwhelmed about all of that in Islam. Like, I mean, because there are some brothers, they really love you for the sake of Allah, you know, they really love you for the sake of Allah, and they like you, and and they are so much kind, and that's why they might tell you a lot, like you have to do this, you have to do that, and this and that, but sometimes they don't realize that they actually confused with so much information. So sometimes you have to sort that out, and also maybe be careful to who you are listening to, because there will be many people around you sometimes. So try to not get overwhelmed. And we as Muslims who talking to a revert Muslim just recently, also we of course should not try to not confuse them.
I agree. I've had this experience on my own when I got advice from some people who were warning me about other people. Those were warning me about other people. Those, I'm like, this is confusing. Like every year, at some point, you'll have to figure out your own, let's say akida, not akida, but like you'll have to know even what I'm saying to you. I've heard it from someone, like it's not a pure thought. So at some point, once you hear a lot of opinions, you have to make your own decision, because in Islam, there's a lot of things, especially in fiqh, where you can get lost. So I would say like just forget about it and just start praying. But even a prayer, you can be like, how should I pray? And there you have 20 opinions. Like Malik, you have this, you have that. Like just that can be very deep. But I would just say, just follow one madhab, whatever your masjid is following, and then decide
Yeah,
what you want to do.
yeah, exactly. Yeah. That's also what I suggest. Like follow the people who are around you right now if they are practicing Muslims, and that's totally fine. And then just take it easy. Like, I mean, Allah will never judge us for something that we didn't know.
Yeah. Well, Jazakallah khair, Jonas, for being here. I unfortunately have to go in a few minutes, but it was great talking about you and your experience. And if I might be in Germany sometime, so maybe we can meet. But if you ever come to Vienna or Slovakia or somewhere here, let me know. And in our masjid, we have visits. We have a visit this week from the UK, from some organizations. So it can be nice, if in the future some, you want to join us. I'm the imam tomorrow. I'm doing Juma, so we would show you our city and our community, because we all know each other here. It's like a small group.
Yeah, Barakallah Fik, Amin wa yakum. I also really appreciate that talk. Inshallah, we see again maybe in another time, virtually, digitally, or in person. Inshallah, looking forward to that. Yeah.
Well,
thank you.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa
barakatuh. Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
All right. See you. Bye-bye.
See you.